Welcome into a special at-home edition of the Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you with some breaking news as the Baltimore Ravens have signed wide receiver Demarcus Robinson. D-Rob comes in from the Las Vegas Raiders, where he was signed this offseason, but was ultimately released just a few days ago. And what's interesting about this move is the need for the Ravens, right? We have talked for months on end about the idea if the Ravens were going to bring in another wide receiver or not, a veteran talent, after moving on from Marquise Brown as well as Sammy Watkins and the promotion of Rashad Bateman and how that was going to fare. But eventually, as I talked about earlier this week when we did our video on trade targets, was that the Ravens found themselves in this position with injuries that had stacked up where they were pretty much left with no choice but to make a move to bring in a wide receiver at this point. Here's what I mean. Just within the last couple of weeks, James Prochet, Tylan Wallace, and rookie tight end Charlie Kolar all suffering injuries. And we haven't even gotten to the second preseason game yet. That's on Sunday against Arizona. And so if you're already this shorthanded now, imagine later on down the road what that could look like when we see more live game action. This was a situation where the Ravens had no choice but to bring in somebody. And look, D-Rob, I don't even know if he's going to make the team or not. That remains to be seen. But at least you need him there. You need somebody. You have to have something to help out this situation of the receivers that have been out and dealing with these injuries right now. So the Ravens ultimately go this route. So we'll break this down more. I'll go over the numbers on Demarcus Robinson in just a moment. But before we do, want you guys to weigh in. Grade the signing. How would you grade the decision to sign Demarcus Robinson and bring him to Baltimore? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know in the comment section one way or the other your grade for the Ravens making this move. Very curious what you guys think on this one. Put a grade on it. For me, my grade, I would give this signing a B. It's not going to cost the Ravens a whole lot. Was he the best wide receiver on the market? No. Does he fill a need? Yes. But, I mean, they could have done better than that. But Demarcus Robinson, not a bad player. Former Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs. Folks, this is why you subscribe to the Ravens Rundown. I mean, it's an at-home video. I am in my apartment and on my off day and still bringing you Ravens updates, even at home. Breaking news doesn't stop just because we have an off day. This is why you subscribe to the channel, folks, because we are dedicated to give you the latest Baltimore Ravens news and rumors right here on the Ravens Rundown each and every day. Subscribe now, youtube.com/RavensTV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment as well to the channel as we cover this team with all the latest happenings here on the Ravens Rundown. You will not want to miss it. It is Ravens Rundown each and every day here on the channel, youtube.com/RavensTV. All right, so here are the numbers on Demarcus Robinson of what he's done the last few years. 2021 with the Chiefs. Before this past year, before his short-lived stint with the Raiders, he had spent his entire time in Kansas City. 2021, 25 catches, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2020, he had 45 catches, 466 yards for 3 touchdowns. 2019, 32 catches, 449 yards, and 4 touchdowns. 2018, 22 catches, 288 yards, and 4 touchdowns. 2017, 21 catches, 212 yards, no touchdowns, and he did not have any receptions his first year in the league in 2016. So you can see the numbers not amazing by any stretch, but here's the thing that Demarcus Robinson did when he was with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City was there were times he had his days where he was the best wide receiver on the field. They didn't come often, but there were times where he outplayed Tyreek Hill, where he outplayed Travis Kelce, and he was able to fly downfield, get open, and catch some deep passes and beat defenders with his raw speed. He did that every once in a while. It wasn't very often, but nonetheless, he did it from time to time. And, this Chiefs receiving core that had the likes of Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins, and we mentioned Travis Kelce and Byron Pringle, among others. I mean, McCole Hardman was there. There was times that D-Rob was the number 3 receiver in Kansas City. And the situation in Baltimore right now, you'll look at this team, and you have your number 1 in Rashad Bateman. But beyond that, everything's up in the air. Demarcus Robinson, if he makes the 53-man roster, very well could find his way to be the number 3 or the number 4 receiver. And with his talent and his ability, I think you would take that for Demarcus Robinson. If that's what he's going to bring to the table, if he can be your number 3 or number 4, and we see him play to what he did a couple of years ago in Kansas City, if that's the type of receiver you're getting, it's not a bad find, personally. It's worth a shot. That's the thing, too. Look, the rosters are going to be trimmed over the next couple of weeks. Right now, the rosters are at 85, and a couple of weeks we'll be down to 53. And in the case for the Ravens, why not see what you got in Demarcus Robinson? Knowing that you have these injury issues, I like what John Harbaugh and company is doing with this move and saying, let's see. Let's see if he can be an asset. It doesn't hurt you to bring in Demarcus Robinson and give him a shot to make the 53-man roster ultimately. Now, the Ravens have had some good luck with some of their undrafted players this year. What we've seen from Shemar Bridges and Makai Polk. I mean, those guys have played, really well in that first preseason game against Tennessee. But let's see if D-Rob can be an asset as well. Maybe he can teach these guys. A veteran that's won a ring, that's played with some of the best in the league. What can he do to be that locker room presence? So with that, I like the move for the Ravens. What would be your one-word reaction to the signing of Demarcus Robinson? Let me know in the comments section what that would be for the Ravens bringing in the former Kansas City Chief and also spending time this past offseason with the Las Vegas Raiders. My one-word reaction for this would be solid. I mean, it is a situation where the reward is much higher than the risk. There really is no risk with bringing in D-Rob here. I mean, there isn't. You exactly know what you're getting. A guy that, okay, he might have 450 yards at best. And if he doesn't fit, if you don't think that he's your guy, you can cut him and it doesn't cost you anything. And he's a veteran guy that, could be a good teammate for these young receivers that you have. Bring that veteran presence in. That's what I'm telling you. There's a whole lot more to gain than there is to lose. I like the signing. We'll see what he brings to the table if he can make the 53-man roster when it's all said and done. But ultimately, Demarcus Robinson coming to Baltimore to join the Baltimore Ravens. So that is the special report here on the Ravens Rundown today. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss a moment, so you get the latest Baltimore Ravens news and rumors. Breaking news just like this right here. We bring to you, it doesn't matter if we're in the office or not. We find a way to tell you what's going on with your team. It's the Ravens Rundown each and every day right here on the Ravens Rundown YouTube channel by Chat Sports. It is youtube.com/RavensTV. We'll see you next time. Appreciate you joining us.